Hey, it's Greg Aronoff from Inspiring Next Gen Wealth. You've probably heard the old school advice that you have to work hard, save all your money, and hope you retire comfortably someday, right? But guess what? That's not how wealthy families actually do it. There's a whole other set of money rules they pass down to their kids, and we're about to reveal those secrets so you can start using them, even if you're not dipping things in Grey Poupon right now. Is that still a thing? Grey Poupon?
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? Of course.
Anyway, I grew up in a home where money wasn't exactly a dinner table topic. Anytime I'd ask my dad about something money related, he'd always say, "What, are you writing a book?" So TLDR, I know what it's like to be in my 20s and have top ramen for lunch and dinner, and how, if you add extra water, it feels like a bigger meal. That's why I'm excited to share these 5 money lessons I've learned that wealthy families teach that most of us never heard growing up, so you can empower your kiddos and set them up for financial success. And stick around to the end, because we have a fun short story about wealth building that you can watch with your kids. Wealth lesson number 1. Wealthy families teach their kids the difference between assets and liabilities. As Robert Kiyosaki wrote in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, rich people acquire assets. The poor and middle class acquire liabilities that they think are assets. Poor and middle class families tend to label everything they own as an asset, including their house, their car, or even things like jewelry or expensive gadgets. Yep, it can feel counterintuitive to think of your house or car as a liability. However, if you lost your job today, would your house or car help you stay financially afloat? Or would they drag you down, causing you to feel pressure to get another job ASAP? In comparison, wealthy families ask, will this put money into our pocket or take it out? And they teach their kids about investing in assets first and using the money the assets generate to then buy other things. So how can we teach our kids about assets like wealthy families? Here's a parenting idea called the Sticker Hunt Challenge. Give your kids 10 Post-it notes and tell them they have a minute to run around the house and tag what they think is most valuable. It's a fun game for kids because they love anything related to points and challenges and timing. And for you, it can be a great chance to chat about 1, the cost of things, 2, value, as in some things that cost less are valued more, and 3, money generating assets. To help explain assets, you can bring up the story of the golden goose that laid the golden eggs. So if your kiddo labeled a smartphone as valuable, you can ask, well, how could you use it to generate money? And that can lead to fun brainstorming that can plant those entrepreneurial seeds, which we'll bring up in the next lesson. Wealth lesson number 2. Wealthy families teach their kids about multiple income streams. If you think about a table with 4 legs compared to a table with just 1 leg, which one is more stable? Of course, the one with more legs is more sturdy and more stable. And that principle applies to income as well. Wealthy families don't rely on just one source of income. Instead, they create multiple ways to make money, like owning a whole gaggle of golden geese. As Warren Buffett said, never depend on a single income. Make an investment to create a second source. And if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Poor and middle class families tend to focus on one steady job, possibly picking up overtime, but rarely thinking beyond that. They stick to one job or invest in a single 401k and hope it's enough. They're effectively putting all their eggs in one basket. In comparison, wealthy families actively explore multiple ways to earn money. Just a few examples would be owning a business, owning real estate, investing in stocks, writing and selling books, or other content that they can license. Essentially, wealthy families start off early, teaching their kids to think beyond a single hourly job. Here's a simple parenting idea to help your kids start thinking about multiple streams of income. It's a game called the Money-Making Brainstorm. The next time your child adds something to their want list, you can see how many different ways they could earn a bit of money. Write down each idea on a different Post-it and see how many different ideas they can come up with. Besides standard ideas like vacuuming the car or pulling weeds, here are 3 ideas to encourage them to think beyond trading time for money. Idea number 1, subscription business. Instead of selling something once, what if they could sell it every week? Let's say they love baking. They could offer a weekly cookie subscription to their friends' parents or teachers or coaches. They could deliver fresh cookies every Friday for a small fee. So they bake once, but get paid for multiple people. Idea number 2, rental business. Maybe your kiddos have a cool video game or a popular board game or a new toy or a new book that's not at the library yet. Instead of it just sitting on the shelf, they could rent it out for a small fee. Idea number 3, affiliate business. With an affiliate business, they recommend products like a favorite toy or a cool book and earn a little commission every time someone buys it. Amazon has something called shoppable videos, where people can record short videos reviewing a product, and they can earn when a shopper watches the shoppable video and then purchases the product featured. Wealth lesson number 3, the importance of investing early. It can be helpful to think of investing like planting seeds. Tiny at first, but they can grow into an entire forest over time. Brian Preston in The Millionaire Mission wrote, the 3 ingredients needed for wealth building are discipline, money, and time. And building true wealth is quiet, patient work. Wealthy parents stress putting money aside early on and letting it grow through time and compound interest. Poor and middle class families tend to save sporadically, but are less likely to invest, and not till much later in life. If they rely on a basic savings account with a low interest rate, their money could actually be losing value through inflation. In comparison, wealthy families teach that even small amounts, if invested regularly, can become huge over time. Now here's a parenting idea from the book, The Bank of Dad, to help build those savings muscles. Every dollar your child saves, you could reward them with bonus interest. So if they reach a 2 or 3 month savings goal, you could pay them a 10 to 15% bonus, mimicking a high yield account. This teaches them that money grows when invested and gets them excited about saving instead of spending. Wealth lesson number 4, abundance mindset and setting high financial expectations. Think of financial expectations like setting your GPS for a destination. If you expect to not be wealthy, that's where you'll end up. Or as Les Brown says, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and hit. Wealthy families believe money-making opportunities are all around us. And as a result, their kids learn to see potential everywhere. Poor middle-class families tend to hope for a decent life, but avoid aiming too high to stay realistic, or are afraid of being seen as too materialistic, or not being grateful for what they have. Wealthy families, on the other hand, encourage unrealistic, big goals. As Norman Vincent Peale said, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Now here's a parenting idea to get your kiddos thinking about setting high expectations and goals that you can create through a vision collage. You can work together and cut out pictures from magazines representing dreams like a dream car, or college, or charity projects, and put them on a bulletin board to spark those big aspirations. Wealth lesson number 5, disciplined money allocation. Imagine you're packing for a big trip, but instead of planning, you just throw random things into your suitcase. Then you arrive at your destination and realize you're missing all the essentials. That's pretty much what happens when we get to the end of the month without a money plan. We realize we're paying for things we can't afford while not funding our savings in retirement. Poor and middle-class families tend to spend as they earn, sometimes paycheck to paycheck. And at the end of the month, they don't know where their money went. In comparison, wealthy families have a plan and purposely allocate their money. As Ramit Sethi says, it's vital to know your numbers. The millionaires I admire the most track only 4 numbers. That's it. You don't need to track 50 numbers. You don't need to know the PE ratio of anything. You don't need to track the price of ketchup at the grocery store. You track these 4 numbers and you can spend less than 1 hour per month on your finances. Now, here are those 4 numbers. And I'll include a link to Ramit's video in the description so you can watch it after this video. First, know your fixed costs. Think housing, transportation, and anything else that's fixed every month. That should be about 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. Second, know your investment amount. Aim to invest at least 10% of your take-home pay. Third, know your savings goals. Aim to save 5 to 10% of your take-home pay for midterm goals like an emergency fund or big purchases. And fourth, know your guilt-free spending. Aim for 20 to 35% of your take-home pay for personal enjoyment like vacations or dining out. Ramit advocates to spend money meaningfully on whatever is most important to you. Here's a parenting idea to get your kiddo thinking about purposely allocating their money. And it's inspired by George Clausen's classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon. The next time you're out shopping and you're not pressed on time, you can give your kiddo a small 2 or 3 item list and a $20 bill. They can keep any money that's left over. Then give them the hint that if they want to keep $5, they have to budget the rest of the items under $15. This will get them in the habit of paying themselves first and then spending what's left over, rather than spending first and trying to save what's left. All right, so here's the quick recap of the 5 lessons wealthy families teach. Number 1, Know the difference between assets and liabilities and invest in things that make money. Number 2, build multiple income streams. Don't rely on just one paycheck. Number 3, invest early. Small amounts grow over time. Number 4, think big, set high financial goals. And number 5, be intentional with money. Know where every dollar is going. Starting early with these lessons will put your kiddo on the path to wealth and abundance. Leave a comment below sharing your biggest takeaway and any financial lessons that you've taught your kids that worked. Check out the show notes and resources in the description down below, where I've included the books and the resources we covered today. Now you can bring over your kiddo and watch our short story called Golden, and see if this little tale about building wealth and believing in yourself starts any fun and interesting conversations. Do you remember the story of the golden goose and Jack and the beanstalk? Well, what if that wasn't the end of the story? What if Jack had a son and he had to learn the biggest money lesson of all? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.
The golden age of the beanstalk was over. Jack's legendary treasure was long gone, and now his son Jake stood on their crumbling farm, knowing that by tomorrow, it might not be theirs anymore. Jake kneeled down and picked up a brittle root. He glanced to the corner of the barn where Hootsworth watches from a beam.
Dad saved the kingdom, and I can't even save this farm.
But then, hope. Hidden among the last of his father's things, Jake found one final golden egg, enough to save everything, if he sold it.
This is it, Hootsworth. This will solve everything.
Jake brought the egg to the wealthiest man in town, Mayor Gringold, the self-proclaimed heir to the giant's fortune. Gringold smirked behind his mountain of gold.
I'll give you 5 silver pieces for it. You're lucky I'm feeling generous.
Jake's heart sank. 5 silver wouldn't save the farm. Jake hesitated. 5 silver was nowhere near what the golden egg was worth.
Come now. Sell it before someone decides it isn't yours to sell at all.
Jake hesitated. Something deep in his gut told him not to trust the mayor. And then, crack, the egg split open. Not treasure, but life. A golden gosling blinked up at Jake.
It's just a bird?
No gold?
Useless.
The mayor storms off. Jake's heart sank. The riches he'd hoped for, gone. Jake cradled the gosling and left humiliated. Jake didn't want patience. He wanted a miracle. He tried forcing it, tricking it, even pitching it to investors.
A farmer with fairy tales.
He's desperate.
And when he nearly sold it,
I don't have time to wait. If I lose the farm, I'll be as worthless as this old place.
and then the gosling laid its first golden egg. Jake stared at the golden egg, then noticed the gosling nuzzling the nearby feed sack. That's when it hit him.
If I sell this now, I'll be rich for a day. But if I raise more geese, I'll be wealthy for a lifetime.
So instead of selling the egg, Jake invested it, buying better feed, caring for the gosling. And soon, he had 2 golden geese.
Things are finally looking up.
But the mayor wasn't done with him yet. That night, his guards stormed Jake's farm. They stole his geese and set the farm ablaze.
I told you, boy, everything in this town belongs to me.
Jake sat in the ruins of his dream. His geese, gone. His farm, ashes. But then, a soft peep. His first golden goose had survived. And in that moment, Jake remembered, his father didn't win by force. He won by outsmarting a giant.
All right, Gringold, let's see how clever you really are.
The next morning, Jake spread a rumor.
There's a secret stash of golden eggs hidden in the farm's well.
The well? Could it be true?
Golden eggs.
And just as Jake planned,
Mine or mine.
driven by greed, the mayor stormed the ruins, shoving his way past villagers.
Out of my way. The golden eggs are mine.
And with that, he leaped into the well to claim his fortune. But it wasn't a well, it was a trap. The more he struggled, the deeper he sank. The same greed that trapped the town now trapped him. And for the first time in years, the town was free. But Jake didn't just take back his farm. He taught the town how to raise their own geese, to build their own future. Together, they created a new golden age, not of stolen treasure, but of shared wealth. One day, Jake saw a young boy holding a single golden egg, just as he once had.
I can sell this and be rich.
Jake smiled, placing a hand on his shoulder.
Take care of that egg, kid. If you're patient, it'll hatch into something amazing.
Wealth isn't just what you make today, it's what you grow for tomorrow. The real treasure learning to plant seeds that last a lifetime.